What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday out there. Just wrapped up week 4 of the college football season, so hope everyone enjoyed their weekend with their friends and loved ones, and got to watch some good football over the weekend, both in college and the NFL. As always, we appreciate you guys listening into the show. Your support is very much appreciated. And as always, if you want to follow the show, listen to the show, you can follow us on multiple streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So, as always, we appreciate you guys listening into the show. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us know what we are doing for you all on the show and how we can improve the show for the future. So we very much appreciate you all's support. As always, you know who I'm with. I am with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, my man?
Nothing much. Feeling good. Another great weekend of college football in the books. We saw some outcomes we anticipated happening and some we did not, which is always the makings for a great college football weekend. So just a lot unraveled, and now it's time for us to peel the layers back and get into it.
Exactly. As our good friend on the show, Kendra Lamar, has said, let's peel the layers back. Let's let's go ahead and get down and with the get down and evaluate some of these teams.
Yeah. Time to get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah. No, man. No, you're right. Yeah, it was a great weekend, Chris. Week 4, we're getting closer and closer. Week 4, 5, and especially 6. Once you're halfway towards the season, you start to find interesting things about a lot of these teams that will pretty much correlate to how their seasons are going to go. You kind of start finding out a lot of players, who can hang, who can't hang, and you kind of see who's those contenders and pretenders, as a lot of media pundits like to say. So yeah, this was a very interesting week of college football.
Oh yeah. No, it definitely was. I think we can confirm that a team we've been high on all season, that they are indeed a contender to not only make the playoff, but I think they are a national championship contender with how their defense looked this weekend, Kory.
Yes, sir. Well, I think, Chris, we can go ahead and get down to that one game that I know you marked, but I also had marked as well this week on our list of games in week 4. And that game was in Norman, Oklahoma, where the Oklahoma Sooners hosted number 6 Tennessee. The Volunteers came to town to take on number 15 Oklahoma. This was a game where, this was going to be 2 storied programs going head to head, and you had Brent Venables on one side for Oklahoma. You had Josh Heupel on the other side for Tennessee. Josh Heupel, a man who's been around that Oklahoma program. I mean, he went to school there, won the national championship, and ultimately over time got a chance to coach for Oklahoma under the Stoops era, and I think we know what happened shortly after his stint there. He was unfortunately let go from OU, and that definitely ruffled some feathers, I would say, huh, Chris?
Yeah. It seemed like a situation where it's either you gonna rock with me or you rocking with the quarterback, and it looked like Bob Stoops chose the quarterback, and we saw how that played out.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right, man. yeah, as a result, this was a big game for both teams, and a lot of I say heat behind it as well. But ultimately, one team had to
Oklahoma's
win.
SEC opener, first game in the conference.
Yeah, taking on
Like you
Josh
said, there
Heupel.
was a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. A lot going on. I saw like a clip of Holly Rowe kind of noticing Brent Venables was going up and down Memorial Stadium. You know, kind of getting the steps in. You know, trying to get fit. You know, for war, Chris. And you know, it's just it would have been better had he had been doing that weeks ahead of time, you know, because once both of these teams got on the football field, it could only be one winner, and that was Tennessee. So you know they won that game 25-15 in Norman. So Tennessee's now 4-0, 1-0 in the conference. Oklahoma is now 3-1, 0-1 in the conference. And if you're Brent Venables, what are you thinking right now, Chris?
You're thinking that Jackson Arnold will not be my starting quarterback. that, that's what you're thinking first and foremost. You know, it was it was a tough day for this Oklahoma offense to get going.
Mm-hmm.
The defense, but honestly, for Oklahoma, played a really good game. They threw Tennessee's offense off. They really never found just their usual rhythm. They had some big plays, some chunk plays sprinkled in there.
Mm-hmm.
But Oklahoma's defense, for the most part, extremely solid, played a really good game, and gave this team a chance to win. They were. It was a really good defensive effort, I would say, on the Sooners' part. They forced a couple of turnovers, some interceptions by Nico Iamaleava. It wasn't an interception. There was the strip sack, the fumble that put them in the red zone right there in the 10-yard line of Tennessee. And Tennessee's defense just stepped up and rose to the occasion and created, every time Oklahoma forced a turnover, Tennessee's defense would turn around and force a turnover, whether it was stripping Jackson Arnold on a quarterback power or that pass that went, behind the line of scrimmage was ruled a backwards pass that Tennessee recovered. So it's plays like that really ruined Oklahoma's chances of winning this game. They did not take advantage of Tennessee's mistakes. That's what you have to do in a game like this, where Tennessee is honestly the better team, and Oklahoma didn't take advantage. I think they found something with Michael Hawkins Jr., the quarterback who came in place of Jackson Arnold, created some plays with his legs, didn't put the ball in harm's way, and made some plays. So I think you have something to build on there with him. But overall, this offense has a lot of work to do. There's a lot that has to be done on the offensive side of the ball for Oklahoma, and you can honestly say the same for Tennessee, man. I mean, this is what Josh Heupel wants. This is the material you need to go back in the film room and show your guys this stuff, and feel bad for whoever plays Tennessee next, because the performance they had on Saturday is going to be way better this next time they hit the field than what it was this weekend, because they had some struggles.
Yeah, shout out to Arkansas, because they're next up on the list. Tennessee has a bye week, and next time the Volunteers go out, they're going to be playing at Arkansas. So, if you're Sam Pittman, you better be yes sir and every day until that game.
Yeah, Sam.
So,
we like us some Sam Pittman, but they're gonna be in for it when they play Tennessee.
Yeah, no, you're right. But you're absolutely right when it comes down to the talent, Chris. I mean, this was a very good game defensively by both teams. I was surprised to see Oklahoma slow down Nico in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they did, but they did a really good job. It was offensively where OU had to struggle, and yeah, it starts with Jackson Arnold. He was just 7 for 16, 54 yards through an interception. So that is terrible. You can't win a lot of ball games playing like that.
We said coming into this matchup that Jackson Arnold has to show us for if there's any way Oklahoma's going to win that game, Jackson Arnold had to play a good game, and he was just bad.
Yeah,
bad. I texted you in the middle of the game, Kory. I'm like, look, Jackson, something has to be done. Like, are they going to put him back in the game? And he got benched, and it was the right move.
Mm-hmm.
It was honestly the right move.
No, you're absolutely right, man. It was the right move, and I mean, we did see Michael Hawkins Jr. come out there, and he was 11 for 18, 132 yards with a touchdown. So, young of a talent as him coming out there to showcase some level of a pulse for this offense for OU was a bright spot. But ultimately it wasn't enough for them to get the W. So hopefully they can build off of that with Michael Hawkins Jr. Hopefully you can see something kind of boil up and take place where maybe they can get this guy more involved in this offense for the future, Chris. But yeah, overall, I think Jackson Arnold is not QB1. I don't think he's going to be QB1 for long at OU after a performance like that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think even more so, I think we just saw how we saw how dominant this Tennessee defense is. The offense will figure things out, but the fact that they can lean on this defense to put together the performances that they have, and just how elite of a group it is. This is one of the best defenses in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very confident in saying that, and the fact that you have a defense this great with a coach like Josh Heupel and Nico Iamaleava, and what this offense can do and will continue to grow into doing this season, we have not seen the best of this Tennessee offense yet. I feel like this group will only continue to get better and better. They needed this matchup, a tough, feisty Oklahoma defense on the road. This is good growing pains and a good lesson for Nico to go through a game like this that will only benefit Tennessee going forward. So, yeah, man, sky's the limit for this Tennessee team, I think.
I think this was a game that they desperately needed for their program to kind of get in that mode or that mindset of those mental and physical types of games that they're going to see throughout the year. They needed a game like this, so they kind of needed to wire in that mindset, like I wanted to say, to kind of get them acclimated for the long season ahead. You still got Bama, you still have Georgia, I think, is on the schedule. There's no days off. You're heading knee deep in the SEC conference, so yeah, you have to really be ready.
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yep. So yeah, this was a good game. Good game for Tennessee. But anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move on?
No, sir. Nothing else to add. No. Yeah, I had nothing else to say about it. I think we summarized everything about the matchup.
Nice. Well, we will now move on to the big house, Chris. There was a big game in Ann Arbor, Michigan over the weekend where USC came to town to take on the Wolverines. It was a big game on CBS. Man, it was weird seeing these Big Ten games now broadcasted on CBS because it felt
Who are
like
you telling?
like usually like a week or two ago we would have been saw some SEC on CBS games. It took all the way till last week for us to finally get that CBS style broadcast for college games. So it was an interesting game. I'd say I wasn't suspecting Michigan to figure it out, but they did, Chris. They won this game 27-24 against USC. And now, I mean, if you're a Michigan fan, you're probably wiping the sweat off your face now, just kind of saying, all right, maybe we found some things. Maybe Orgy's the guy. Or maybe not. Because he didn't record a touchdown in this game. But, hey, at least our running game is pretty good. Khalil Mullins I think he's the guy. I think he's the guy we should be leaning on.
No, man, Michigan played Michigan football. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't sexy. But it was effective.
It was effective.
It got the job done. It got them to win. The Wolverines just ran the ball up and down the field. I want to say, Kory, how many? What was the total rushing yards that Michigan had in this ball game?
Let's look.
I believe it was. Let's see.
They had 290 rushing yards.
32 passing yards, 290 on the ground. Dominated the time of possession. This was a Michigan style of game. And look, Alex Orgy's going to continue to be the starter. He didn't play great. But this offense, he added a threat to it with his legs. He had 43 rushing yards himself. Donovan Edwards, 74, and Mullings, 159 yards on the ground. Mm-hmm. I mean, they kept this high-powered USC offense off the field for the most part and found a way to get the win. It wasn't pretty, but they did what they had to do, and that's all that matters if you're a Michigan fan. It ain't how, it's just what happened. And what happened is they got the win.
Yeah. It may have not been the most sexiest, swimsuit version of a win that maybe Michigan would had liked, but overall, you're right, Chris. A win is a win, and they figured it out. And now I'm wondering, does Khalil Mullins, does he get the start now? Is there going to be a switch?
He's got to be the guy. I think Michigan has even said themselves that Donovan Edwards isn't that grinder of a back. He's a change of pace guy.
Exactly.
Mullins is the tough in between the tackles, 3rd and 2, get you 2-3 yards. He's going to grind out these drives, and he's going to be the guy you lean on. So I think Michigan's figured out what's going to be their style of play. Whether it continues to work or not, we'll see. But they know what everybody's role is going to be going forward, I think, with this game.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. I think there's a lot of soul searching now in terms of personnel with Michigan, offensively, I should say, in terms of the running game, and also with the quarterback play as well. I mean, seeing what Alex Orgy did, which wasn't much of anything, it's still The jury's still out
Way
on
better than
that.
what it's been.
Yeah, you're right.
30,
So
give me 32 passing yards instead of 4 or 5 interceptions
yeah,
any day of the week.
yeah. As long as you don't turn the ball over, I think we're in a good department right now. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I think Mullins is the better option at running back, at getting the majority of the snaps, and I think you can still, there may be a time where, I mean, of course, there's going to be a time where you're still going to have to throw the football, but I think this is much more the way to go if you're Michigan going forward. But having Mullins out there being the one back and none of it was being the actual change of pace back.
Yeah, yeah. No, 1,000%. And then for USC, tough loss, but I still feel like you have to feel good about your group. You played a tough game in the big house, had a chance to win in the fourth quarter. We just came up short. But it's a good group. And so I think USC needs to come out of this game with their still feeling like everything you kind of want is on the table for yourselves. So I expect USC to continue to play well. It's just tough in general to go to the big house and come away victorious. And so there's no reason for this loss to change the trajectory of USC's season, I think.
Yeah, it's just one loss. I know some people, some USC fans, Chris, have been very, very vocal about Lincoln Riley's play calling. Of course, as every year, USC fans are always questioning Lincoln's play calling and just decisions overall in a lot of these big games. But I'd say there's still nothing to worry about at all if you're a USC fan. You still have a lot in front of you. Just win out. just keep playing USC football as the best way you can, and try to win as many ball games as you need to. And before you know it, you should still be one of those teams in the playoff discussion by the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll see how the season continues to play out, but there's plenty of opportunities for USC to continue to prove themselves. They'll have a date with Penn State coming up soon. That'll be a big time matchup. So plenty of big games on the docket for both of these squads playing in the Big Ten.
No, you're right. You're right. So yes, a lot of football left to be played, and I think for both teams, win or lose, hold your head up high and just keep churning along. That's all I can say about it. Yeah. But anything else, Chris, you want to mention about this game before we move on?
No, sir.
All right. Well, now we are going to head down to Lincoln, Nebraska. This was a pretty interesting game on Friday night, Chris. This game was very fun. I'd say this is one of the funnest Friday night games I've seen yet. And lately this season, Friday nights have been fun for college football.
Man, they've been off the chain.
Like they're really making people consider not going to see any high school football Friday. Like,
if there was a weekend to miss games, it definitely was this weekend. This Illinois Nebraska matchup. It was one of them ones, Kory.
Oh man, yeah. This might be one of those game of the year candidates in the regular season. We might go back to and discuss. But no man. This was a fun game. Nebraska hosted the Illinois over Friday night. And yeah, this game went into overtime, but Illinois came out on top, 31-24. Chris, 4-0. I don't know when the last time Illinois was 4-0. I would have to definitely check that.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's probably back with my boy Juice. When Juice Williams was out here quarterbacking the squad. That's probably the last time they were 4-0. I
Yeah,
don't know. But it
uh,
wouldn't shock me if that's the case. Big big win for the Fighting Illini, Kory.
yeah, very big win, very big win. I mean, look, Brett Bielema. you think back to when he was at Arkansas, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the Arkansas fans were turning on him. Things just weren't clicking the way that they were supposed to be, or at least they were in the first couple of years. Um, it was just different, and he gets axed away from Arkansas, goes to Illinois. Well, he did go. He did have a stint in the NFL. Think was he under Bill Belichick? Didn't he have a few years in that New England?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah, he was underneath Bill Belichick for a little bit, and then he ended up getting the job after Illinois decided to cut ties with Lovie Smith, and yeah, ever since then he's just been building that program
Mm-hmm.
slowly but surely, and like they're one of those very quiet teams in college football that's been rising to the occasion. And now look at them now, Chris. They're 4-0, 1-0 in the conference, playing good football. Like the defenses at Illinois has been last couple of years they've been pretty good. Had a couple guys
Yeah.
go to the NFL, and you saw it on Friday night. They answered the call and took down a pretty good Nebraska team. I thought leading into this game.
For sure, Nebraska is a really good team, a team that's sound on both sides of the ball. It's so interesting, though. We when we previewed this matchup, we both sided with Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
I was just, but I was over here just splitting hairs. I almost picked Illinois so badly, but in our analysis of this matchup when we previewed it, we talked about the young, talented quarterback for Nebraska, Dylan Raiola, going up against a veteran and someone who's been around the ropes and battle tested and has to transfer, and he's seen different things. And then with Luke Altmaier, the starting quarterback for Illinois, and he was big time. He played big time veteran college football, and he made the throws that Illinois needed. There's a throw I'm sure Dylan Raiola's going to just look back on, and he's upset that he didn't complete late in that fourth quarter of that ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to see in OT Luke made those plays. That's the difference of this game. Your quarterback, he was ready for the moment, and I'm sure Raiola will continue to have opportunities to display his talent, and he'll have his moment as well. But just in this case, in this game, this was Luke Altmaier's time, and so with him at the quarterback position, with the way this defense is playing, I think Illinois will be competitive in almost all of their matchups going forward in conference play this season.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, Luke Altmaier. I mean, we remember him from Starkville High School. I mean, he was really, really good talent at Starkville High. Decided not to go to Mississippi State, but Ole Miss, and ultimately decided to go to Illinois. I mean, he had an exceptional football game. I mean, he was 21 for 27, 215 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, Chris. I mean, he was the field general.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was the field general of this ball game. And when it was time to rise to the occasion in overtime, against a really good Nebraska offense, Dylan Raiola, we talk about him on this show. The guy has 5-star talent written all over him.
Yeah.
Illinois just found ways to win offensively and defensively. I mean, this was a complete ball game that Illinois.
It's everything you wanted, for sure.
Yeah.
And a quick note on Illinois, they're going to keep that Starkville pipeline going. Trey Petty, the kid who replaced Luke Altmaier as quarterback at Starkville High School,
yes,
he is on campus. He's on Illinois' team.
That's right.
They have the Starkville pipeline going. So when Luke's time is over, don't worry. There's another one coming up in the ranks who'll be starting there shortly. Pretty soon, in Trey Petty, who's also a top-notch player at Starkville High. I know we're both familiar with him and got to see him play as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people, if you don't know about Trey Petty, he's a really, really good athlete. I mean, Luke Altmaier, he makes really good athletic plays as well. But once you see Trey Petty, he's an athlete. You're going to see it once he steps on the field, Illinois fans. So be excited about that.
The future is bright. Things will continue to be are on the up and up.
Yeah.
With the fighting the line now.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. But it was a great win for them. They've beaten 2 ranked opponents in the same season, Chris, and that's for the first time since 2007. And off to a 4. Yeah. You were right. You were absolutely right. Juice Williams, which was a heck of a football player at Illinois during his heyday. So they have beaten 2 ranked opponents, first time since 2007, and off to a 4-0 start. And that's the first time that they've gotten to that point since 2011. So, big ups to Illinois. They're playing really good football right now. So, if I'm a fan of the Fighting Illini, I will be definitely proud right now.
Oh no, you're sleeping great tonight.
Yeah, you sleeping good. Like 2 more wins. We gonna get those. We going bowling.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You're trying to see if we can make some noise. Can we crash the party?
Yeah.
Can we find a way to contend for the Big Ten?
Exactly. Yeah, we whooping feet out here is what Kendrick Lamar was saying.
Yeah. At Bud Crawford's crib.
Exactly.
Whooping feet at Nebraska, at Omaha.
We got your number, Raul. Oh man, but yeah, fun game on Friday, Chris. Me and you were texting about it. Had a great time. Friday night college football is amazing, and I hope we get some more games like this in the future.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, anything else, Chris, you want to add to this game before we move on to the last game?
No, sir. We can keep it rolling.
All right. Well, we are now about to head down to Stillwater, Oklahoma, Chris. There was a big game in Oklahoma, 2 big games in Oklahoma over the weekend. But in Stillwater, the number 12 Utah Utes came to town to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. This was a game, Chris, that me and you were kind of going back and forth on in terms of, like who's going to have the upper hand on who. Yeah, I mean, when both teams are clicking, when both teams are healthy, these are 2 teams that can really impose their will on you when everything is all good. But this game was back and forth, but more so on a defensive standpoint, and both teams were just really, making mistakes, especially at the quarterback position. I mean, we saw picks being thrown. It was one of those games. It was a tough outing for both Isaac Wilson and Alan Bowman. But overall, Utah won this game 22-19. They're now 4-0. Oklahoma State is 3-1. Overall, Chris, what do you think about this football game? Because it was a messy ball game, and it had to be a winner at the end of the day. What did you think about this ball game?
It wasn't good on the eyes.
It wasn't
that much. It was not one for the eyes. It wasn't pretty. Turned up at the end. It got real interesting.
Yeah,
but I'll say this, Kory. I have serious concerns about Oklahoma State.
Me too.
I know the score looks close, and you would think it was a really good game, a really tight game, but Utah had control of this game for the most part. Things just got very chaotic at the end, and it looks a lot closer than what it was. But Utah had control of this game without Cam Rising, and Oklahoma State continues to struggle to run the football. We talked about that leading up to this matchup, how Ollie Gordon has not been able to get off, and he still didn't get off in that game. If Oklahoma State is relying on Bowman to lead this team and to be the engine of this offense and not Ollie Gordon, it's going to be problems. Oklahoma State will not win many games. They won't they won't have a great season. They won't finish 10-2 or 9-3. It could be 8-4 or 7-5 if that's the case. So they're going to have to figure some things out and figure them out right now, because you're just starting Big 12 play. Big 12 Big 12 football is as unpredictable as it gets. Ask Kansas State.
Yes.
Like it gets real crazy in the Big 12 real fast. So, OK State better get it together, because the formula right now is not working.
No, not at all. It's so weird in seeing how that they weren't using Ollie Gordon from the get-go, Chris. Like, this was a guy coming into Big 12 media days who was regarded as, and I still feel that he is the best running back in college football right now, has not been utilized to his full strengths. I don't know if that's just because I don't know, the offensive line isn't playing very well. Clearly they really aren't. I mean, you can tell by Alan Bowman right now, this man he's pressing just about every week. So yeah, it's, you have that, Ollie Gordon's not playing up to what he should be. It's so out of whack right now. Well, K-State, and I don't know. You gotta fix it, but I don't know if you can. Like, they're kind of showing you that this is who they are every week, and it's very taxing if you're an Oklahoma State fan right now seeing this. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, I don't know what they do either. It's soul searching time, like you said. They're going to have to go in the lab and figure some things out here and figure them out fast, Kory. Because we look at the schedule real quick. It ain't gonna be easier, and the schedule, their record almost tells a lie. They could very easily be 2-2 right now.
Yeah,
Arkansas had the game. Oklahoma State can very easily be 2-2 right now, but you're going to have to play Kansas State after Kansas State has lost to BYU.
Yeah, that wasn't a great game for the Wildcats on Saturday night.
Not at all, and they're going to have to get their revenge on somebody. So it
Yeah.
looks like Oklahoma State is the team that's next on the docket. That's next up to be able to play against Kansas State. So good luck with that one. Then you're gonna have to play at BYU a couple weeks after that.
Good luck.
Yeah, as as we saw Saturday night, BYU is clearly one of the more difficult places to play at in college football, especially at night. It
Yes.
gets it gets wild there. So yeah, OK State, they got some tough games coming up. We'll see if they can get some things figured out and ironed out before as they continue on with the season.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, they got a. I'm looking at it right now, Chris. This is a tough schedule. I mean, look, I'm going to talk about Baylor later on in the show, but after what happened to them last night in a thriller against Colorado,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I don't see them being too happy by the time you play them at their stadium. And then Arizona State playing really good football right now.
Yeah,
I don't.
Texas Tech,
Yeah,
high-powered offense. Texas Tech's offense is really good.
yeah. Where's the wins?
They're not obvious.
They're not. I don't see the wins.
You're not just looking at the schedule saying, "Yeah, you can chalk it up as a win. That's a win." It's not. Nope, by any means. Even at Colorado, that's that. Hey, that's gonna be a game.
Yeah, yeah. Dion's not going. He's not going to step back for you, Mike Gundy. Look,
Yeah,
come after you. Dion coming after you.
exactly. So yeah, Kory, you're 100% right, bro. It's not going to be easy at all going forward for OK State.
Yeah. Nah, I don't see. I don't see many other wins on the schedule, Chris. No, you're absolutely right. So we'll see what happens, but not a good start in 4 games of the season if you're a Oklahoma State fan. So
Yeah, definitely a lot of questions that have to be answered, some things that got to be figured out. And then for Utah, I think you should feel good about going on the road, getting this win without your guy, without Cam Rising. Still were able, you're taking this thing 1 week at a time.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so it's a big win for the Utes, and it keeps them right there where they want to be to accomplish their goal, win the Big 12. You're off to a good start, 1-0 with the road win under the belt.
Yeah, yeah, that's the most important thing right now. So good win for Utah. We'll see what the rest of the season goes for them, and yeah, we'll definitely be tuning in to that. Anything else, partner, and you want to talk about before we talk about some of the other scores in college football over the weekend?
Nah, we can keep it rolling.
All right, man. All right. Well, just a couple of other scores in college football over the weekend that you maybe had missed. Number 5, Ole Miss hosted Georgia Southern. They take them out, Chris, 52-13. Ole Miss still looking good. I watched a little bit of that game. Henry Parrish Jr., Jackson Dart, all of those guys. It's just a well-oiled machine in Oxford right now, Chris.
Yeah, no, they're rolling. Defense has a few things to clean up that I noticed. Just penalty wise, kind of extended a drive for Georgia Southern. So I'm sure that's something Lane Kiffin and company will get worked out this week, leading up as they continue on into SEC play. But yeah, no, for sure, Ole Miss looking good early on this season.
Yeah, no, they are looking really, really good. So yeah, we'll see what happens with them as the season progresses. This game, Chris, I'd say this is had it not been for that thriller with Colorado and Baylor, this would have been the game. Number 7 Missouri hosts Vanderbilt. I love Pavia. I think this guy, he brings something so, energetic to Vandy, Chris, that I
He's a
don't.
dog.
He a dog. I gotta give it to him. Like, I always tune in to watch Vanderbilt games just to see what he's going to do. He's that electric of a player in the SEC right now. But with that being said, this was a game that I thought Vandy would squeak out and win. They went to overtime against the Tigers, but overall Missouri escaped 30-27, Chris. So they still have that undefeated streak with them out in Como. So what did you think about that game, Chris?
Hey, look, Missouri's got. They're another team. They got to figure some things out, brother. These games have been real close. They get wins, but they've been close. So Missouri, good win, but yeah, they got to go. They got to go in the lab too, because they're looking real susceptible.
Yeah.
Good game, good win, but they definitely got to figure some stuff out. And their kicker missed 3 field goals in this one. If you try to beat other top SEC teams, you can't be missing 3 field goals and thinking you're gonna come away with the win.
Yeah, that really bugged me. At all of those field goals that they missed, I'm like, my goodness. Say if this was against Alabama or Georgia or somewhere, I'd be tearing my hair out, Chris, if I was watching that game as a Missouri Tigers fan. Goodness
they would have had
gracious.
to give me a headset. I definitely would have broke the first one. I would have needed the backup headset.
No, you're right, man. That was telling. if you're a Missouri fan, that needs to get fixed. Find another kicker, do something, because something like that can definitely come back to haunt you later on in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they got the win. they can breathe now, for a little bit longer, Chris. They can come back up to surface again.
Right.
So yeah, no, that was a fun game. I have to say it, fun game. Number 8, Miami taking on South Florida, Chris. Miami defeats USF 50-15. This was a game, heading into halftime, it was a lot closer than what we had expected. I had texted you
14-12.
Yeah, I texted you. I was like, is USF? They're gonna do this?
Yeah. Cam Moore said not today.
No, he said nah. he was like that guy that's like in the room, and then like your family are arguing, and then he just gets up, goes in the other room, and he's like, wait a minute, what's going on? We're about to shut this down right now.
Yeah, he put an end to the Bulls' hopes and dreams and turned it up a notch. But that's this Miami team. We've raved about them. I think they're a national championship contender as well. Don't let the fact that they play in the ACC fool you. This is a complete team, loaded on both sides of the ball. So they did what really good teams do, and that's pull away and make adjustments at half. Went on to cruise to victory.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It was a big win for Miami, keeping that streak alive and showcasing why they're the top team in the state of Florida right now. So yeah,
Dolphins included.
Exactly, Dolphins included.
Dolphins, Jaguars. You might throw in the Bucks the way they looked against the Broncos.
I know. It's just insane. So yeah, man. Number 1 Texas, Chris, played UL Monroe. General Booty Greatest name in college football.
He was real booty in this one. He couldn't even throw for 50 yards.
Oh man, yeah, that defense was victimizing Gerald Booty and that offense for UL Monroe. But yeah, that Texas took control of that game 51-3, and getting ready for first SEC matchup this coming Saturday against Mississippi State. So that shouldn't be too hard of a task as well.
Sure won't. I will tell you right now. You can go ahead and lock that in on Bolton's bet.
Yep. just go ahead and slide it in. Just etch it in
Slide
stone.
that in. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Put as much as you need to and want to on that one, because it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly.
Oh my gosh! No, you're right. You are right, man. Few more scores and then we'll get ready to wrap it up with our Chiefs of the Week, Chris. Northern Illinois. So, few weeks ago, Northern Illinois has that big game against Notre Dame, Chris. Who knew Northern Illinois or MAC, the MAC conference? We talk about MACtion was going to come out of that game with the victory. They go to overtime against Buffalo, and they're at home. They lose that game 23-20. Now they're out.
MAC, baby. That's the MAC conference. Hey, look, the MAC is the truth. Buffalo did what they had to do. Not surprised. It's a good win for Buffalo. It's a solid team, man.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every team in the MAC truly is a solid football team. You're not going to play many bad teams.
No.
Out of the conference. All well coached, all tough at the line of scrimmage. Might not have that many skill guys, but they all bring it in the trenches.
Right.
And if you're bringing it in the trenches, it's going to put you where you need to be. You're going to always have a chance. Mm-hmm. So, but big win for Buffalo for sure.
Yeah. No, you're right. You are right. LSU defeats UCLA 34-17. We had Notre Dame beating Miami of Ohio 28-3. Louisville, number 19 Louisville. No, they hold a special place in my heart, Chris. Host Georgia Tech stumps Georgia Tech 31-19. Very good Louisville football team, Chris. I mean, we talk about them a lot on the show. Tyler Show, really, really talented quarterback. So, it has the Cardinals rolling indeed. So good job for Louisville. Iowa State.
Speaking of rolling,
Iowa State is balling this year, Chris. 52-7 over Arkansas State.
Yeah. They were on our preseason top 25.
Yeah.
Iowa State, the team that returns a lot of starters, a lot of talent, and I even think we underrated them. I mean, a lot of people didn't have them in the top 25. We did, but based off of how this team is playing, Kory, week in and week out, they have been one of the more consistent football teams this season. Mm-hmm. Found a way to get the win over an arch rival in Iowa in a tough matchup. And this group, they have the pieces to do something special this year. Mm-hmm. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Iowa State. And look, don't be surprised, Kory, if they're the team representing the Big 12 in the playoff, because they have a chance. They have a really good squad. Yeah,
they do. They're playing excellent football right now. So I wouldn't sleep on Iowa State, folks. If you don't know anything about Iowa State, just watch them play. They're really good right now. Rocco Beck, what a great name. Mm-hmm. He's balling right now. So
He's tough.
Yeah.
Like we praise Luke Altmaier. Beck is another one of those guys, veteran, waiting for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're trailing and he's leading your 2-3 minute drive, he can get you downfield and make it happen.
Yeah.
So I like him a lot. And I think if this team is in close games, he can be the X factor and be the guy to get you that drive and that touchdown to get the win. So would love Rocco Beck.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a really great talent out there. So yeah, be sure to tune in to watch some more Iowa State football
Some
this season.
Cyclone football.
Yeah.
Hey, if you just a casual, you would not think Cyclone football is what you need to be tuned into. But hey, we're telling you, the Cyclones, they out here this year.
Yeah. No. You're right. Yeah. Please be sure to watch them if you can. But yeah, big win for the Cyclones over Arkansas State. Number 21 Clemson put a beat down on NC State, Chris. 59-35. Kate Klubnik. Look, I saw this man. He was running down field for touchdowns. I mean, he was going crazy.
I don't know what got into him this week. I guess honestly, NC State tends to make everybody look good so far this year. So that might have a little something to do with it. But no, for real though, Clemson's been looking really good since getting smacked by Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know what came over this ball team. But yeah, they've been quietly just beating down on people the last several weeks since that Georgia game. So they're looking good right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, they definitely are. So good win for Clemson. They hopefully it'll temporarily keep the noise down out there in South Carolina.
Yeah. No, I agree. And the last game we'll go over. Well, two more, but we'll start off with this one. Texas A&M took on Bowling Green, won that game 26-20. Right now Texas A&M is still trying to learn a little bit more about who they are offensively. It's it's one of those things where they're still trying to figure some things out right now, and Marcel Reed is taking majority of the snaps. Connor Wegman didn't play this game, but overall they escaped what would have been a very bad loss against a Bowling Green team. I mean, it's just another thing about the MAC conference, Chris, that the MAC can get you if you're not careful enough.
Bowling Green ain't no joke. They had Penn State on the ropes and did the same thing to the Aggies.
That Maction boy, like I'm telling you,
these schools finna think twice before they schedule these MAC teams.
This is not an easy win anymore by any stretch of the imagination. You remember those days, Chris, when we were coming up and we were seeing a MAC team on the schedule? We're like, oh man, we're gonna take care of Buffalo real nice. Not now.
Not no more. Sure ain't, boy. You play with the MAC if you want to. You're gonna end up looking like Mississippi State.
Oh man.
You're gonna pay a bag to get your head busted.
Pay a smooth meal. Meal and a half.
Oh man, be looking like State and Notre Dame. Be paying for these L's. So almost happened to A&M, but no, they found a way though.
Yeah, they did. So yeah, Marcel Reed 16 for 29, 173 yards and 2 touchdowns in that victory over the Falcons. So yeah, last game that had to mention. So Colorado and Baylor. That game, Chris, was insane. It was just immaculate how all of that stuff came together.
Yeah. Storybook finish.
Yeah.
That's a game. Yeah, if you play for Colorado, you're never gonna forget that one, boy.
Yeah.
The Hail Mary TD, the forced OT, and you find a way to win. Come on now. That's what you play college football for.
I know. Yeah, that was a crazy game through the end. I mean that was a great throw by Shadur Sanders to LeJounte Wester, 43-yard touchdown. But man, that play from Travis Hunter to knock the ball out
As he was about to score, go into the end zone. Baylor was moving the ball too.
They were moving the ball. So, Sawyer Robinson, former Mississippi State quarterback. Sawyer Robinson.
These former state guys, boy, they go elsewhere and they just turn up.
They always around. They're always around. But yeah, he had that offense moving, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be another one of those like Colorado games from last season where we're like staying up late at night. But in the end, Travis Hunter knocks that ball out, fumbles it, game's over. Colorado wins it, just like that. Like it don't get no better than that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. He's Travis Hunter special, man. Even if you need a quarterback, I think long and hard about passing up. I just don't think you just automatically take the QB. I think Travis Hunter is the best player that's going to be in the draft, and you have to take him number 1 overall. You have to.
Yeah.
He just does special things. That hit. The interception last year when he faked he was going in the flats and then dropped back into a cloud zone and got that interception against TCU.
Yeah,
in that game, there's just plays that you just literally cannot teach that he does. He's one of a kind. We're watching someone incredible when he's on the field.
No, you're right, man. Yeah, he's an exceptional ball player. Definitely gonna be on Sundays. Whoever he plays for. I can't wait.
Yeah, he might walk on to whatever team as DB1 and receiver 1, wherever he's drafted. I mean, he's that great.
Yeah.
He's that great.
No, you're right. But yeah, that was a fun game. Went to overtime. It capped off a really fun week 4. It wasn't a ton of games, but a game like that was special, I'd say.
Agreed.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it was a big week 4, and now as we kind of get ready to close the show, Chris, Chiefs of the week for the both of us. So I'm gonna let you, good sir, go ahead and let the people know who is your Chief of the week.
Yes, sir. So my Chief of the week, Khalil Mullings. We wrote off. There was always a chance that Michigan would win, but we didn't expect it. But Michigan may have found their number 1 running back with Mullings. Great game. And he had, looking at the stats, 17 carries with 159 yards, 2 touchdowns in a game Michigan desperately needed. This team is still right where they want to be this year. You can continue to keep your hopes and dreams alive for winning the Big Ten and competing for a playoff spot. And Mullings was a huge reason why. Broke off big time runs, and In a game like this against the USC defense that's very improved and looks to be on the verge of being a great defense, based off what we saw against LSU, um, this was a big win, and Mullings stepped up. So I feel like I have to make him my chief in a win that was a big win for Michigan when they were the underdogs in this matchup at home.
Yeah, no, it was a it was a get right game for Michigan. They had to figure out some things and put people in the best positions that they could to win the ball game, and I think they struck lightning in a bottle with Mullins this past Saturday. So yeah, I definitely agree with you with him being your chief of the week. He definitely helped Michigan find themselves, of course, which they desperately needed, because had they lost this game, oh man, a lot of questions got to be answered.
Yeah. It was gonna get tough for our guy Sharon Moore. It was gonna be a friendly press conference.
No, you're right. Losing one game is one thing. I think everyone can be afforded with the 12-team playoff now to lose at least one game.
Especially if you're losing to Texas.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, we lost to the number one team in the country. Yeah. You know. But yeah. Like, had they lost another game, I just don't think this team would have had been able to come back from that. So, yeah, it was a good win for Michigan, but a good performance by Mullins.
Yes, definitely. Huge, big time.
Yeah, man. Well, for me, this game was a very interesting game that had happened. I think late Friday evening. I was watching Washington State take on San Jose State, and I was introduced to a man named John Mater. Quarterback for Washington State, Chris. This man was insane. He has now led Washington State to a 4-0 record. This man's stats, I'm just going to read it out to you. He was 26 for 46, 390 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw 2 interceptions in this game. This game was very back and forth, by the way. It went into 2 overtimes. That was him passing. Rushing, 18 carries, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. This guy scored 5 touchdowns in their victory over the Spartans over the weekend. So he's my chief of the week, because you lead Washington State to a 4-0 record. Doesn't matter who you play. I know Washington State and Oregon State are kind of hanging out as those like lone Pac-12 teams right now, but yeah, like winning a ball game like that in 2 OT at home with a performance like that, yeah, you a dog, son. you got that dog in you.
Yes, you do. 1,000%. He was big time. I mean, look, accounted for over 500 yards of offense. So he was the real deal in this one. So yeah, most definitely well deserved Chief of the Week nod from you, Kory.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, it was a great performance by both of these men this week in Mullins and Mater. So yeah, it was a great week of college football, and we're heading into week 5 this week. So should be a great week as well. I'm not sure what games do we have on the slate for this week.
For this week, who do we have? We have Kentucky, Ole Miss.
Yeah,
that should be solid. VT, Miami.
Yeah. Oklahoma State,
Virginia
Kansas State.
Beat down by Miami. Louisville, Notre Dame. Interesting matchup.
That is interesting.
Arkansas A&M. Oh boy, ain't no telling what's going to go down in that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was going to mention the Arkansas victory over Auburn. I mean, yeah, it happened. I don't know what's going on with Hugh Freeze this season, Chris. I know you probably don't know what's going on with Hugh Freeze as well, but
Well,
this isn't a good
spiraling
Auburn
out
team.
there. And Bo Wallace out here just dropping, just telling us all the mishaps and bad things that went down in his time at Oxford under Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't be surprised you see him on DJ Vlad next. Have a sit down. Yeah,
Man.
So this is what happened between me and Hugh Freeze. He didn't respect me.
Bo Wallace he is not bashful. He is letting it be known what went down in his time at Oxford. So he don't rock with Hugh Freeze, and
Nah.
it don't sound like Hugh Freeze rock with him either.
Yeah. It definitely seems like two people with not much good to say to one another. So yeah, that's it's unfortunate.
But yeah, though it's a few games. And of course
Georgia, Alabama,
biggest Bama.
One. Yeah. So
Georgia Bama's the biggest one. That's gonna be a great one. So yeah, we will be tuned in. A lot to tune into.
Yeah, it's a big week. Illinois, Penn State. It's so many great games coming up this Saturday.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. It would warm my heart if Illinois won that game. It would warm my heart.
It put a smile on your face.
Boy, nothing would make me smile better than seeing Penn State fans just combust the year that this was a 12-team playoff and you lose a home game to Illinois. That'll just warm my spirit.
Look, man, you Penn State administration, you're going to be looking at James Franklin like, look, man, just give me the keys, man. Just give me the keys to the office. Give me the keys to your car. Just get on the bus and leave. Get on that Greyhound and leave, man.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, no, you're right. You're right, man. It should be a fun week. And we're definitely going to be breaking everything down here on the Breakdown Sportscast for you all.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, Chris, before we head out of here, let the good folks know where they can find you on social media.
Yes, you can find me on X at Chris_Bolton_12. And you can find me on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Holla at your boy. Talking about everything. So if it's sports, you'll see me on there talking about it.
Nice. Yeah, and you can find me on X as well at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there talking college football, professional wrestling, and the whole nine. So yeah, be sure to follow me on there. But yeah, man, it was a great show as always. We'll be back here again, Chris and I, to talk about our predictions for Week 5 in college football, and Chris will also give you his Bolton's bets as well. Should be a good one for this week. Have a lot of big games on the slate, so I know you got a lot to let people know, Chris, so they can put some money in their pocket.
Yeah, we'll cook something up and try to keep the roll going. We on the if you're making parlays, we don't tell you to make them, but if you are making parlays with our last picks for back-to-back weeks, we 8-0. So hopefully we can make this 3 weeks straight to keep the winnings going.
Yeah. Keep stacking some more paper, stacking some more cheddar. So yeah, I can't wait for that. But yeah, everyone, we appreciate you all listening to the show. Like I said, keep liking, commenting, subscribing to the show, and just letting us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for you all. But for Kory Willis, and Chris Bolton. This is the Breakdown Sportscast. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Peace.
Peace.